Well, good evening, my friends. Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to you with another live CGC unboxing. Guys, it's Friday. That's right, it's a Friday, not a Tuesday. Kevin, why on earth are you on here on a Friday night and not this coming Tuesday? Well, my friends, as you know, I've been off on vacation for the last few weeks, couple of weeks, and I'm back now, and I arrived to a lot of boxes. So I figured I better get on here and get started because I need to get these books back to their owners. For those of you that have been patiently waiting while I've been out on vacation, about 10 boxes, 7 to 10 boxes arrived. More on the way too, guys. I shipped out a lot of books before I went off. So I've got a lot of boxes coming back as well. So these are the first three that I feel came first. So I'm going to do them in order. Hey guys, if you're new here, I'm Kevin the Comic Doctor. I'm a comic book presser. I'm also an authorized CGC dealer and a signature series facilitator located way up in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. And this is my weekly, pseudo-weekly show and tell, a virtual show and tell of comic books that belong to my clients, books that have been sent off to CGC for third-party grading, and they've now returned. I'm sharing them with you for the first time. So I'm going to be back. A bunch of you are on here as well. I don't anticipate a lot of guys are going to be here because, again, this is usually a Tuesday night thing. It's Friday, and maybe people do things on Friday. I don't know. But I want to get on here, like I said, and get through these. Hey, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking the content. I do weekly shows, like I said, unboxings. And guys, a lot of news out of Sarasota over the last couple of weeks. I want to go over two in the next couple of weeks. So I'll probably be coming on here to talk about a few things that have transpired while I've been away. Today, I'm also going to talk about the San Diego Comic-Con. It was my first time at San Diego, and I want to tell you what I think. Did I like it? Did I not like it? What are my thoughts on it? Well, stick around. I will get to that soon. And again, guys, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It does help my analytics greatly. And I am having a giveaway too, guys. When I hit 5,000 subscribers, I'm giving out a voucher for 10 free CGC modern gradings. And then when I hit 10,000 subscribers, which might be in the year 2037, hopefully not that long, I'll give out a voucher for a free box of grading, modern graded comics from CGC. So hey, if you want to get in on that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Okay, let's get started, guys. Lots of books to go through today. Halfway through, I'll get over and I'll tell you my thoughts on the San Diego Comic-Con. All right, where's my overhead cam? There it is. So we start off today with a 9.4 copy of Sandman number 18. Oh, we got a couple of signature series books here. Oh, sorry, these are the JSA books, I should say. We have a Dave Whelan authenticated autograph for this Reaching Justice number 1, right there in a 9.6. We then have a Seduction of the Innocent 3D number 1 by Eclipse in a 9.0. Whoa, there we go. We have a 9.0 of Action Comics number 1, the first appearance of Superman. But of course, my friends, this is a reprint. But you know what? What the heck? It's still a cool copy to have in your collection. Let me fix these slabs up here. So far, no cracks, which is fantastic. If you like my thumbnail today, well, here it is, a 9.8 copy of Darth Vader number 3, first appearance of Dr. Aphra, I believe. All right. And then we have a 9.4 copy of Action Comics 894 in a 9.4. Move those over a tad. Oh, we have Crossfire number 12, an Eclipse book in a 9.4. I'm glad I zoomed out my camera. I can get more books on here now. We've got a Veronica number 28 in a 9.4. A lot of modern books today, guys. We got a Zatanna number 15 in a 9.6. Pretty generous 9.6, but you know what? It's a 9.6 nonetheless. And a 9.6 copy of Batman Adventures Mad Love, second printing. also in a 9.6. Now my stack is getting kind of high. I'm going to have to reset this, so I'll go over to the chat room. Again, guys, if you are new here, yes, I've got a chat going on somewhere. If you look around your screen, you'll see a live chat. If you got questions about comic book pressing, comic book cleaning, CGC grading, or any grading for that matter, any questions that pertains to comic book collecting, you can ask those questions here free of charge, and I'll be happy to answer questions if I can. But you must be a subscriber to ask those questions. So if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, jump over to the chat section, and we can say hi to you there. And if you are new here, let me know where you're watching from today. I'd love to know where you guys are watching from. We got, oh, Dave was the first one here today. Happy long, isn't it a long weekend? I had no idea, Dave. I had no idea it was a long weekend. Canada Canuck, welcome back. Thanks, Warren. Warren, I think you're Dark Knights in this stack. Louis, my God, where have you been? How you been? How you been, my friend? Yo, yo, yo to you too. What's up with you? John Sherwood's here. How you doing, John? Christopher's here as well. How are you? Welcome back. Hope you had a fun. It was a great vacation. I wouldn't say it was a relaxing vacation because we were on the go, boy. We didn't stop. Last few days were a little less crazy, but yeah, a lot of fun. A lot of fun. California is a fun place to visit for sure. Happy Friday, Doc. Eric, you too. Steven's here. PSA slabs look good at San Diego Comic-Con. You know what? I think so. I'm going to do a video about that at some point in the next week or two as well. I want to talk a little bit about the whole PSA announcement and what I think about it. What it could mean to you and me as well, to my Canadian subscribers and to my Canadian clients. This is an area that I've always said the Canadian contingent would really appreciate. A grading center in Canada, a place where we don't have to ship our books out to some, south of the border. I think PSA could nab the entire Canadian market, or a good chunk of it, a very big chunk of it, if they were to have a facility here in Canada where clients don't have to ship their books south of the border. It'll save on, excuse me, it'll save on shipping, of course, but more importantly, my hair's popping through, but more importantly, it will save on your nerves, right? Because as soon as the books go south of the border, we all get kind of nervous, right? And having the books here in Canada would make it a world of difference, I think. Hey, Dan, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you. Welcome back, sir. Thank you very much. All right, let's keep going here. We got a Dazzler #1, just in time for Deadpool. Wait a second. Did Dazzler appear? No, she didn't, but we got a 9.8 copy nonetheless. We have a 9.6 copy of Betty Page Comics #1. It's a nice copy. It's a very nice copy. Why is it only a 9.6? Come on, guys. Another Sandman #1 and a 9.6 is the Air Edition. Right here in a 9.6. And they made note of the Air Edition right there. What else we got here? We have, we're right now gone through probably 2/3 of box #1. 2 more boxes to go. We've got a Star Wars #68 Canadian price variant in a 7.0. We've got an Archie Comics in a 5.5. The infamous pearl necklace cover right there, as you can see. Sexual innuendo cover, although no note of that on the label anywhere. We've got a Crisis on Infinite Earth #7, 9.4. A lot of modern books in this particular box. And we have also a Star Trek #1 in a 9.4. All right, there you go. Let's pack these babies up. We'll go back to the chat and see what you guys are saying. Dannon continues. Hopefully PSA takes customer feedback because those labels are barf. I don't know, Dan. I don't know if I agree with you on that. Now, are they as aesthetically pleasing as these? No, they're not. I agree with you on that regard. I don't think it takes an artist or a fine arts major to figure that one out. But PSA, that label that PSA has used for their cards is kind of recognizable as a PSA characteristic, right? It goes along with PSA. I kind of like them using that very simple, basic label and not changing it to blue and not changing it. I like that PSA is not going to cow tie themselves to what CGC has already established. If they're gonna try to make it on their own steam, they're going to tread their own course. They're going to say, this is our label, so we've always used. Here it is. And again, is it as aesthetically pleasing as CGC? No. Do I personally care? Me personally, I don't. The fact those slabs have UV protection, that to me is more important than an aesthetic slab. Because honestly, do you know where all my slabs are? They're not on the wall. They're either in a safety deposit box or in a box behind me. They're not on display. I don't care about the slab. All I know is I want to grade it and I want to protect it, and that's it. Now, for those of you that are putting their now that's just me. For those of you that are putting their comics on display, that's a different subject altogether. If you want them to look aesthetically pleasing, they look a certain way. That's why a lot of you don't like when you get a green label mixed in with a blue label. You want either yellow or blue because you have an aesthetic. You're trying to create a certain look. So I get that. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that whole. I don't know if PSA needs to kind of follow in CGC's footsteps. I like that they're treading their own path. That's me. That's me. But Danny, not the first person. I've heard that from a lot of people. So, yeah, you're totally on the money there. P. Bales, Paul, how's it going? Hey, Doc, are you experiencing the warped inner wells that are causing damage to the books? There is a big discussion. Yes, I just saw 3 of them. Let's see if there's any more here. Yes, I don't know if they're warped inner wells or if the wells are too tight. I don't know, but yeah, I do see it, and it's causing a lot of damage on the spine. If I see one, Paul, I'll give you an example. I'm seeing that a lot the last few months, to be honest with you. And yeah, I've explained it on previous episodes how frustrating that is because I'm sure other pressers can also attest to this. We send our books out to CGC in as best a condition as possible, as beautiful as the books can possibly be. We want the books to arrive at CGC in front of the grader in a brand new bag, a brand new board, shining, glimmering clean as possible, as straight as possible. They pull it out and they're like I always think first impressions are always important, right? You've heard that, going for a job interview, you dress like a bum or you dress nicely. First impressions are very important. And I wonder if what do you call it? I wonder if I don't understand why these slabs are now damaging the books, because the books are being graded and they're being put into these slabs and they're being damaged. The dents and the dings along the spine that we've corrected are being put back into the book. So yeah, it is very, very frustrating, Paul. I don't know what to say. But we'll get to that in a second. Let me go back to the overhead cam. We'll get through this box. We got a 9.4 copy of the question. And by the way, guys, I'm also kind of out of it. A little jet lagged, actually. But I had to get on here tonight. I had to get started. And by the way, none of these books, if these are yours, these are not going to be ready for tomorrow. Don't even ask. These will be ready for next Saturday. I will contact you over the next few days. When your books are ready for pickup, I will text you. So if you see your books here tonight, no, they will not be ready for tomorrow. When I'm done this stream, I'm going to bed because I'm exhausted. But I had to get this process going because I don't process the books until I do my live streams. I know you guys want to see your books. Anyhow, we got a question number 1 in a 9.4. We got a Bad Planet in a 9.4. And we've got a Zatanna number 16. Adam Hughes cover, of course. Like here's one, Paul, that you can kind of see it in a 9.4. Check this out. I don't know if you can see. Okay, let's see if I can. There we go. Let me get a better picture. Yeah, see that, guys? You see all these dents along the edge here? It kind of goes into the book. If I was sending books into CGC looking like that, I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't be in business this long. The only saving grace is I don't believe they grade the books after they're put in. They grade the books prior to being encapsulated. That's the only saving grace. However, let's add insult to injury. Now the books are going to be put inside, and is that 9.4 now an accurate grade because the slab itself has kind of damaged the book? And yeah, it's very frustrating. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. Hopefully they're going to get their act together, guys, because it's extremely frustrating. But yeah, I've been seeing that a lot. Not every book has this, by the way. Mostly books from the mid 80s mid-80s. I shouldn't even say that. Some books for some reason have it, other books don't. There's no rhyme or reason, so I don't know what the heck's going on, if the slabs or the inner wells are warped or whatever. But these, yeah, some of these are coming back looking pretty ragged, which is very frustrating. Let me keep going here. I'll finish this box off, then we'll get to the next couple of questions here. We've got a Teen Titans Annual number 2, first appearance of Vigilante, in an 8.5. Really nice copy of Peter Parker, number 1. So that one looks pretty nice. This one looks pretty good in there. And that's in a 9.4. And then we have a Teen Titans, number 1. I got to make sure these slabs are not cracked. In a 9.4. And again, this one's sitting pretty nicely in there as well, too. So I don't know. It seems like some books, maybe they got a bad batch of those inner wells. I don't know where those inner wells are being manufactured. I have an idea where they're being manufactured, and you know, sometimes quality control in the inner wells might be suspect. Now this box belongs to one person, I think. Yeah, this is one box of 25 moderns for one. This is for one owner. You know what's hilarious? I think both those Sandman 18s were error books. One said error and one didn't. What a bunch of morons. So that's the kind of crap that drives me nuts. That's the kind of stuff that drives me crazy. All right, we got a Canto number 1. We finally got a 9.8. Holy jeez. And the slab is good. It's a Canto number 1 and a 9.8. And this Canto book, of course, had that very common... Canto number 1s had this really bad bend right about there, and if you press it right, you can get rid of it, and you can also grab a 9.8. Usually, if you don't get rid of that bend, you're coming back with a 9.4, and then we have a 9.6 copy of Vengeance of Bane. Nice copy of Vengeance of Bane. Why is it a 9.6 and not a 9.8? Not sure. Anyways, 9.6 right there. All right. That was one full box for one client. Are those yours? I don't know. Let's go back to the chat while I put these through. Jose, PSA slabs, they are very heavy. The PSA slabs are extremely heavy. It kind of worries me about shipping. What's it going to cost? Like, way heavier than this. Way heavier than that. Dan, it reminds me of a museum artifact, but UV, yes, please. I'll take that all day for sure. Adam, how's it going, buddy? Steven says, CGC, that's another thing I want to talk about. 10 million in loss. Guess they'll need to raise their prices soon. We're going to talk a little bit about that whole $10 million defamation lawsuit. That's a very interesting thing to talk about. Expect a video on that next week sometime. We'll get together. We'll look at that a little bit more in depth. I have my views about that. Treasury Editions here, and he says, welcome back, Doc. Hope it was a great family vacation. It was, Treasury. Thank you very much. I don't know why my chat is not letting me here. I'll move it up like this. Let me move it up a little bit. Come here. Gonna figure some more right to there. Okay. And then Paul says, there is speculation that the new encapsulation method to fix the slab gate issue is what caused the issue with their own, my lord. Isn't that crazy, Paul? You know, you fix one thing, you cause another problem. Fix another thing, cause another problem. What a mess. Oh, what a mess, what a mess. All I know, it's extremely frustrating. We work really hard to make sure the books leave our facility top notch. You know, books are going in the press sometimes 2 or 3 times. Usually at least 2 or 3 times, to be honest. Not always, but I'd say the majority of time, especially on the older books. We review the books. We make sure they're perfect. We bag them, board them with brand new bags, brand new boards. We ship them off. I pack them really well, nice and tight. Off they go to CGC. And to have them come back looking like that is disheartening for me. And it's disheartening for you, obviously. Again, the only saving grace, if this is a saving grace, is they're grading the books prior to encapsulation. But still very frustrating. Still very frustrating. Dave says, I'm afraid my OG Secret Wars and Craven's Last Hunt. I'm afraid for my OG Secret Wars and Craven's Last Hunt runs, Kev. Oh, don't be too freaked out. I'm sure it'll be okay. I mean, the problems I'm seeing can all be rectified, but why should you have to pay to have it done again, right? How do you rectify? You've got to crack it, you've got to press it, you've got to resubmit it. And is it worth it? No, because the grade's probably going to come back exactly the same. So what's the point, right? But I mean, you want to talk a little bit about inconsistencies once again, I can tell you, and I'm not going to bring up the book here, guys, because this is I'm going to tell you an ongoing issue we had with another client's book. He had, I'm going to say, it a Silver Age book. It was a key book. So I'm going to say the book was a 9.2. And my client wanted to crack it and press it and resubmit it and blah, blah, blah. And so he wanted to have some work done to it that I did not think we should bother doing. So he sent it elsewhere, and that's fine. He sent it elsewhere. The book went from a 9.2 to a 7.5. To a 7.5, my friends. And I'm going to tell you, it was a very big book, a very big book. So the book came back. He had me crack it. I pressed it again, and it came back this time at 8.5. So 9.2 to 7.5. Now, granted, the 7.5, the fella who did the work on it, he kind of made a bit of, I'm going to be honest, he made a little bit of a mess on the book. I'm not going to lie. I cleaned it up. We sent it back, came back in 8.5. Still not satisfied with this, of course. The book still looks fantastic after I worked on it. We cracked it again, third time now. And all I did to the book this last time is I smoothed the spine out a little bit. I rounded the spine a bit with my hand iron. Resubmitted it. Guess what? Back to 9.2. So 9.2 to 7.5 to 8.5 to 9.2. The last time was very, very little work was done to it. Very little work. Definitely not enough to see a jump from 8.5 to 9.2. But anyways, it went from 8.5 to 9.2. So, you know, we've got lots of problems. We got consistency problems, obviously, there. We've got perhaps graders that are not as well versed as other graders. Some graders are probably very seasoned and know what they're doing. Others might be more novice. I don't know. Definitely, we're not seeing 2 or 3 graders on one book, which I think is a problem to begin with. I think, honestly, even though it costs more money, I think the book should be graded twice, and at least twice by 2 different guys. And like you got to come up with a system. Like, for example, how does this sound? Okay, so me and John Schurer, how you doing, John? So say John's got the book and I got John grades the book first and puts down 7.5. For example, this is totally just an idea I've got in my head right now, how to kind of combat the subjectivity of grading. So he says it's a 7.5, okay? Then I grade the book. I can't see his grade, by the way, and I write down 8.0. Or how about this, 8.5. So then we open up the piece of paper and we see he marked it at 7.5. I marked it an 8.5. So we're gonna average it out at an 8.0. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. If he says 7.5 and I say 9.2, and there's that much of a discrepancy, then that goes to a third grader to give a third grade, and then we average out the 3 grades, or the 2 higher grades, or the 2 lower grades. I don't know. They got to come up with a system like that. I know, yes, listen, that takes more time. That takes more manpower. That costs more money. And then who's paying for that? You and me. I get it. But, you know, we're complaining about, you know, someone mentioned about the price going up because they got sued and all that. Yeah, well, of course, that's business, right? When costs go up and things like this happen, the prices are going to go up. Although I think in a lawsuit like that, wouldn't insurance kick in? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But you know, people, oh, I want UV plastic, or I want this, or well, the more you get, the more it's going to cost. The more people that are working on your book, the more it's going to cost. I get that. You know, I don't know what to say. But all these problems, the inner wells, you know, the slab gate issue, the micro cracks around the slabs last year that caused me so much stress and frustration, and now the grading inconsistencies I'm seeing all the time All the time now I'm seeing things. I'm cracking books. I got guys bringing me books back and saying, let's just send it back. And we're not even complaining. Because to complain, to call CGC and say, listen, I don't agree with, look, I got a book here. It's a 7.5. I think it should be higher. All they're going to say is send the book back. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to come back at 7.5. Again, they're going to side with their grader, and they're just going to make you pay for shipping again. So when I have a client who's really upset about a grade, unless it's really, really an obvious problem, if it's I say honestly, take the hit for now, crack the book in a few months and send it back. That's what I do. That's what I suggest. What this fella did with that 7.5 to 8.5 to 9.2, we waited about a month and a half to 2 months in between each time we did it. He went from a 9.2 again to a 7.5, pressed by someone else, 8.5 pressed by me, and then cracked again by me and played with by me and sent back again, back to a 9.2 again. Holy cow. And since that time, the book has dropped in value significantly. So the person who bought this book obviously is lost. It's lost this book now. All the fees and monies put through to this book, the book has gone down in value. So hey, it's not a perfect science. If it was, we'd all be doing it and we'd all be millionaires, right? John, I think some of your books might be back today. I think. If they're not here, they're coming up in the next couple of days. Not a ton of them came back 9.8, my friend. Some did. I billed you. You have an idea. You should be able to see that. Beyond Wednesday says, great meeting you on Sunday. What amazing piece of original art you scored. Beyond Wednesdays, how you doing, man? Nice to see you. What was your first name again? Because I'm not sure, but yeah, nice. I met a bunch of guys on Sunday. I'll talk about the Comic-Con in just one sec. I'll do half the next box, then I'll get back on here and talk with the Comic-Con. Stephen Chang says, Comic Doctor has better Q&A than CGC. Thanks. I try. CGC should spend their money and R&D to develop all graders. You know what? Listen. This is a good reason why PG. Oh my God. Oh my PSA. Oh my God. I'm tired, guys. Sorry. This is why it's great that PSA is coming into the game. It's great that CBCS is out there too, even though I don't use them, but it's great that they're out there too. To have some other competition out there will keep these people honest. You hope anyways, right? Yeah. Brian McClay. Okay, Brian. Yes. Great meeting you as well. Yeah, it's you're one of the fellas I met on the outside the Marriott, right? I believe, if I remember correctly, Brian. Swag's here. How you doing, Swaggelhouse? Good to see you. Now, the Swaggelhouse and this was a kind of a funny thing. Cool. I get to California. My wife and kids, we drive from San Francisco to Salinas, and we go and see my friend Kevin over at Salinas Pond, and we stay there for a night, and then we drive down to the Garland Hotel in North Hollywood, and we get there, we load our bags up on our rooms, and we're hungry, but we don't want to go driving. We go to this really swanky kind of a cool little restaurant which is attached to the hotel, and we get there and we sit down, we all order our food, we're sitting, and I hear a voice. It's very recognizable. I look over and I'm like, that's Mickey. That's Swaggelhouse. I could have swore, but I couldn't. He was got his profile and he was kind of turned a little bit away, so I wasn't 100% sure, but I thought it was. And what was funny is a few days before in San Francisco, we were at the hotel there, and I could have swore I saw Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees, but it wasn't him. So I told my wife again, I go, I think that's a guy I know from YouTube. And she goes, oh, you and your, she kind of laughed at me because I thought I saw Mickey Dolenz a couple of days earlier. Anyways, proceed to eat our food and everything. I'm getting ready to go, and I go, that's Mickey for sure. I didn't want to interrupt him because he had some friends with him, but I waited till I was about to leave, and I went over, and sure enough, I tapped on the shoulder, and it was him. Really strange. First night in Hollywood, I bump into Mickey, who we've obviously streamed together a few times, and it's just what a small world, man. Really weird. And we had a great conversation afterwards. His friends had left, and we kind of sat there by the valet there and just talked about I think PSA at that point was the news had dropped, so we talked about that for about a half an hour, and then I saw Swag again at San Diego, obviously. Stephen Chang, I hope PSA undercut CDC for grading costs. I don't know about that. We'll see. All right, let's keep going here. I'll do about 10 books, and then I'll give you my 2 cents worth on the San Diego Comic-Con, and what I thought as a first-time attendee. of the show. It was quite fun. All right, so here we have Bart Simpson's Treehouse of Horror. Excuse me. Wow. Again, a 9.6, and I'm thinking this is generous. Sometimes I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, where's my overhead cam? Right there. Boom. Okay, so we got the 9.6. Then we got a Wolverine number 36. And this is in a 9.8. Wow. Like, look at this. Okay, here's another one. Another one. Look at it. Beautiful 9.8. Look at that sucker. It's like, now you could have one tick on your book and get a 9.8. There's nothing wrong with that, but that looks so much more accentuated than it should be. So that's a big concern. Big concern. What else we have? A lot of modern books, guys. The third box might be some older stuff, maybe. 9.6. Wow, here's another one. 9.6. First Bishop, not in a 9.6, 282. Again, here we're seeing it again. Like, guys, this is very heart-wrenching. When I see this, you can see the dents along the edge there. Like, that's ridiculous, man. Mickey, if you're still here, have you been seeing this sort of problem? Has that been coming? Have you been noticing that? You've been hearing the complaints about this? Because it's really starting, and you can actually see the book is kind of like concave. The book is kind of sitting concave in there, which is crap. Anyways, 9.6. 9.6. We also have an Amazing Spider-Man Canadian price variant. Now this one's sitting quite nicely in there, and this is a 9.2. Speaking of Canadian price variants, I don't know how many of you are from New York City or planning on going to New York Comic Con. I am trying to get a panel together for New York Comic Con. Myself and Angelo, who you probably saw on my video, or you should have seen in my Canadian price variant video, and a few others. We're going to try to get a panel going at NYCC this year. So if you are going to New York Comic Con, maybe I'll see you there as well. Here we go. Wolverine number 1 in a 9.8. Nice direct copy. Oh, wow. We've got a number. Okay, hold on a second here. We've got a number 2. See, I'm looking at this. This is a 9.8, really? Okay, whatever it is. And a 9.8. Bang, there it is. A number 3. And number 3 is the black cover, as you know. Bang, 9.8. Let's see. Let's see if there's a number. Oh. Now, the owner of these is going to have to go out and find a 9.8 copy of number 4. And this number 4 is actually pretty nice. Just give the guy a 9.8 so we can have a full friggin' set, for crying out loud. All right, there you go. All right, this sucker's gotten really high, so I'm going to have to do a rearrangement. And then let's talk a little bit about San Diego. Give me one sec, guys, as I kind of clean up this little mess here. There's that. Okay, that box is gone. All right, San Diego Comic-Con. Let's talk a bit about that. So I'll go to back to your chat in just a few seconds. San Diego was a lot of fun, guys. Now, I was only there for one day. I was only there for Sunday. I missed the Hall H. I missed the big announcement, with Robert Downey Jr. being there as Dr. Doom. I missed all. Now, I heard about all of it as I was in that area, but going to San Diego was a lot of fun for me because I ended up going in, as I may have mentioned this before. As you know, I'm buddies with Robert Meyer Burnett over from the Burnett Work. And Robert offered to drive me and my son Jack to San Diego. So at this point, my wife and I and the family were in Palm Desert, which is about an hour out from where Rob lives. So my son and I drove out to the Redlands, got a hotel there. We met up with Rob there in the morning, and then we drove to San Diego. We get to San Diego. First thing that happens at San Diego, we get to the Marriott. We go down to get a quick drink. and Rob's friends with what's his name, J. Scott Campbell. We turn around, J. Scott Campbell walks up to Rob and starts talking to Rob, introduces me to J. Scott Campbell and my son. And so first thing we meet J. Scott Campbell, first thing at the Comic-Con. So that was Sunday morning. That was a lot of fun. And then I meet Kevin from Salinas, right? Salinas Pond. And Kevin got tickets for myself and Jack, and it was a lot of fun to go in there. And basically, I spent the time with Kev. Jack just went crazy. He went off. I didn't even see Jack. He would come back and forth. He'd report in once in a while. And me and Kev kind of haunted the comic area. I ran to Swaggle House a few times. He was doing his videos for the, kind of doing his review of the show as well too. But I can tell you, as far as comic books go, it's the most comics I've seen in a comic book show of that caliber in a very long time. Now, I heard from Swaggle that he thinks the number of comic dealers is starting to dwindle. I had lunch today with my buddy Roy from Roy's Paper Heroes, and when he was at Comic-Con, he felt that the Fan Expo in Toronto had more comics than San Diego. I kind of beg to differ. I thought, well, and time has passed since he's been there, I felt again that there was a lot of comics to go through, tons and tons. And people weren't only bringing keys, there was all kinds of bins to dive through and a lot of older, obscure stuff. And I'm not talking about $200-$300 books, like $5, $10 books, lots of that there to go through. The only problem is you needed more than one day. I was there for one day. If you would need, I would say, at least 2 or 3 days to go through and visit all the dealers and see what they have. Lots of eye candy there, my friends. And I put some posts up on my Instagram, all kinds of big dollar books, tons of, I've never been to a show where you have like 6 Superman #1s or 6 Batman #1s and, 10 AF-15s and 4 or 5 Hulk #1s, tons and tons of Hulk 181s, right? Big books galore. Now, were those big books moving? I have no idea. But they were there. You go to Fan Expo in Toronto, you see a few of those, but not the amount that you're going to see at San Diego. Now, in terms of sheer size of the facility, I was really nervous about that because I figured, my video, there we go. I was nervous about getting lost or not being able to find my son if he got lost. It was very simple. The Marriott was right there, and beside the Marriott was a convention center. And just imagine the Toronto Fan Expo. Both buildings, north and south buildings combined, times by around 2 or 3. That's how big it was. It was probably 2 to 3 times, 2.5 times the size of Toronto Fan Expo. And you had you had a huge Todd McFarlane presence. You had a big, J. Scott Campbell presence. You had a huge, what's his name? Alex Ross presence, right? You have all these huge dealer, artists with their huge displays selling variants and such like that, which by the time I got there on Sunday, most of the stuff was already picked through. But they were there, right? You had Rob Liefeld setting up. You have all these big, J. Scott Campbell walking around. It was kind of cool. Then you had, and I did not go to Hall H. I did not go to any of these big MCU halls. If I go next year, and I'm thinking about going again next year, for a longer duration and experiencing more of the Hollywood side of it as well, because I'm a big movie buff, right? I would have liked to have enjoyed that as well. I am looking into going again next year and perhaps signing up to do a panel next year as well too on Canadian price variance, because I'm telling you, everyone I talk to south of the border is very interested in Canadian price variance. A lot of guys know about it, but it's not common knowledge to everybody, and we're going to try making it a little more common knowledge to some of our friends down south. But was it a lot of fun? Damn right. San Diego, the climate is beautiful, nice and warm during the day, kind of cool at night, very comfortable. The all the fans there, you kind of take over the whole part of the city. It's great. The gas lamp district, not cheap. You want to go for dinner and stuff, it's pretty pricey, but quality food, good entertainment, really cool area. They shut down all the streets. You can walk up and down right in the middle of the street up the gas lamp district. A lot of fun there as well. I had a hotel about a half an hour away. We flew out of San Diego. So it was I drove into San Diego, I drove out of San Diego, and then a couple of days later we drove back to San Diego for just one night. So We got to go back when it quieted down a little bit. There's a Padres game going on. There was a little bit of hustle and bustle, but my wife and family, we got to kind of experience San Diego a little bit better. A really pretty city, lots to see. So I would like to go back again next year. If you have the chance to go, certainly should be on your bucket list if you are a comic book fan. I think you'll really get a kick out of going there. And I would say go there sooner rather than later, because the Comic Cons, as we know it, guys, are starting to change. You know what I mean? We're not getting, again, the number of comics is starting to dwindle. We're starting to see a lot more other stuff being sold there. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, if you did follow me on Instagram, the original art at the show was unbelievable. I'd never seen that much original art in one place at one time, and I was so excited and so upset that I only had a few hours to go through it, and I kind of dropped my my load, as it were, money wise, really quickly. And I would have liked to have kind of dug a little bit more, but lots of dealers selling original art, and I'm talking, you know, anywhere from a $200-300 piece up to like $80,000 pieces. One guy had copies there of like, you know, $250,000 pieces of artwork. Of course, he didn't have it there. He had photocopies. If you wanted to buy it, that was a discussion for later, but it was available to you. And to see that stuff in person was pretty remarkable. The one complaint I had, and to my son likes going to these shows and meeting some of the celebrities. We know that Marvel doesn't really tell you sometimes who's going to show up. But you know, when you go to the Toronto Fan Expo or Montreal Comic Con or even New York Comic Con, I've noticed already they're advertising which stars are going to be there. You know, like Walton Goggins is going to be there this October, and many other. I think Jeff Brolin's going to be there next in October. They're letting you know. San Diego doesn't do that. San Diego did not let you know which movie stars were going to be there. So if you wanted to bring a book and have it signed by someone in particular, you didn't know. Now, when I got there, there were two actors set up. I forget the one actor's name. Michael Biehn was there from Terminator and Tombstone. You know, Johnny Ringo, that guy. He was there. I didn't know he was going to be there. Had I known he was going to be there, I might have, you know, brought some extra cash, met him, got a signature, whatever. I didn't. And the other fellow beside him was from Shawshank Redemption, and he was also from Aliens. They were in Aliens together. Both Michael Biehn and this guy were in Aliens together, but I forget his name. They were sitting side by side, and I didn't even know they were going to be there. So that I thought was kind of silly. Why they wouldn't let people know that these actors are going to be there made no sense to me. Steven, are those yours? Okay, wait a sec. Oh, I gotta go back. Where's the chat window? There it is. Boom. Ronald says, Kevin, will CGC be at Fan Expo, and will there be more comic dealers than last year? I have no idea how many dealers are going to be there. I'll be at Fan Expo taking books for CGC submission. I'll be at Fan Expo. I'm going to try Signature Series. I know a lot of the guys that are offering Signature Series don't want to go to building A or the North building. They want to stick with the South building. And if you know Fan Expo Toronto, you know that all the celebrities are in the North building and all the comic artists and writers and whatever are in the South building. And so I know that other CGC facilitators will kind of stay away from the actors and focus more on the artists and what have you. I'm going to try to do both. But I'm going to have to get the books before the Fan Expo. So I'm going to be putting out information on my website, on my Facebook page soon, outlining how you can get your books to me if you want to get, a signature from a celebrity or an artist, okay? But CGC will not be there themselves. No, they might send a couple of reps to hang out, but they will not. They're not officially setting up. No. Steven says, first grading company to develop an artificial intelligence to do the grading of books wins the grading wars. Yeah, Steve, I don't know if that's ever going to happen, man. I mean, the artificial intelligence has to open the book up. It's a baseball card or a hockey card or trading card. I could kind of see it, but a comic is multifaceted. You have to turn pages. I don't know. That seems like a tough one. Mickey likely only dines at the finest restaurants. Perhaps. Louis says, what's up, swag? Okay. What's up, Brian? Stephen Chang. Woo, Wolverine Limited Series. 9-4. I know. Nice Wolverine set. Shame not all 9-8. Mike, how you doing, Mike? Stephen says, yes, less comic dealers in San Diego Comic-Con than before. Hollywood has taken over the convention space. Totally. But Hollywood also brings a lot of excitement to that space. And that was lacking last year. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The movies can really influence our excitement about these books, especially if you're a speculator, especially if you're an investor. You know, it kind of, I'll tell you, when they announced that Robert Downey was in the building and was doing all that, it was a really electric over there, guys. Like, you know, it was really electric. So Hollywood kind of being there does kind of bring out a real energy, a real fun energy that I think this hobby was lacking the last couple of years. So hopefully they'll keep it going. I think they should. David's here. How you doing, Dave? I'm doing well. Hope you're doing okay. Dan says, did you grab any books? No books at all. I picked up only that one piece of art, which I've already put away. That's it. And the art was a pain because I had to bring it back on my luggage. I had to kind of, you know, sandwich it between thick boards and kind of organize my shirts and my underwear just right so it would fit perfectly in my luggage. Great to see you had a good time. Saw a video of San Diego Comic-Con with some giant books and great grades. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Will there be more dealers at Fan Expo? We already talked about that. I can tell you right now for Roy. Roy has, where I was last year, Roy's invited a few dealers to join him this year. I know we've got Marshall Comics joining Roy this year, and we have Paulo Dukic coming as well too. And Paulo is a great addition as well. He's got a lot of books, and Paulo is a regular at the Toronto Comic Book Show, but he'll be at the Fan Expo this summer as well too. So this August, so should be a really good place. I will post our booth number and all that very, very soon. And I'm going to tell you right now, Roy, Paulo, and Mike, they like to deal. A lot of guys at these shows don't like to deal. I don't understand it. I know Fan Expo is expensive. I know San Diego Comic-Con is expensive. It's stupid expensive. But you got to deal, man. People want to deal. They want to haggle. They want to dicker. Let's dicker. Don't dicker. I don't know. You're not going to, I don't know. People like to know they can get good deals with you. They'll come back. But whatever. Stephen Chang, SDCC never discloses the stars showing up. Always a mystery. Yeah, I discovered that this year. David says, Star Wars lineup for Fan Expo got really good all of a sudden. Yeah, the Fan Expo was looking pretty shitty there for a bit, and all of a sudden, you know, you got Rosario Dawson coming now, and a few others. The only problem, they're only coming for Saturday, which is going to make signatures very difficult. Stephen Chang answered the question right there. Both CGC. Nikki Blades 3. Hi, Doc. Will you be open next week? Thinking of driving up from Gatineau. I will be there, Nikki, on next Saturday for sure. And if you want to come during the week, just give me a holler ahead of time so I know you're coming. I'll open the shop for you. Yep. We are by appointment as well. Stephen Chang, but we're always open from 11 till 2 on Saturdays. And tomorrow, I'm open tomorrow too. Stephen, check out the drone show that Marvel put on over at Petco Park. Yeah, I saw that with Galactus. It was ridiculous. Again, I missed that. I wasn't there. I would have really liked to have seen that. That seemed like a hell of a lot of fun. A hell of a lot of fun. All right. But yeah, San Diego Comic-Con, guys, 2 thumbs up. A lot of fun. The city was a lot of fun. And the just being there was a lot of fun. And again, I would recommend getting there sooner rather than later. And if you are planning on going to San Diego Comic-Con next year for 2025, I would really recommend getting your hotel organized, getting your time off work or your vacation organized now. And as soon as those tickets go on sale, get them. Like, get in the lottery and get them, because you're not always going to get 4 days. It's not going to, it's Fan Expo, you can buy the tickets a day of. San Diego, you need your tickets, I think, by January, February, or something like that. It's crazy. Again, I'm going to try to go next year as a panel host. So I'll get a ticket that way. But if you want to go as a consumer, yeah, you need to get on top of that. And I think it's a lottery, or was a lottery. So don't wait. It's not a last minute thing. It's something you have to plan, several months in advance. But as a comic book enthusiast, as a fandom enthusiast, you got to get there. It's a lot of fun. The energy is a lot of fun. Also, I'd recommend an Airbnb because the hotels are really stupid. And the transit, from what I've been told, I didn't use transit, but everyone I've talked to who's used transit said it's very easy to get around. They closed the whole city down for San Diego. Let me tell you, I'll tell you something really cool about San Diego. This is really crazy. And I don't think I have a picture, but across the street from the convention center, there are these hotels and buildings. And they put wraps on these buildings, you know, whether it's SpongeBob SquarePants or DC or Wolverine versus Deadpool, whatever. These buildings had massive wraps on them, like 8, 10-story wraps, which probably cost God knows how much to install. The Uber driver told me, and this is pretty cool. One of the Uber drivers told me, now by the time I got there 2 days later, 98% of them were gone. These wraps were already taken down. The side of the Hyatt Hotel, the side of the Marriott had these huge ads. These companies don't ask permission or get, they don't ask the city of San Diego permission to put these ads up. So every day that these huge ads are on the side of their building, they're being fined. You know, day one, $1,000. Day two, $1,500. Day 3, $2,000. Anyways, for the 4 or 5 days of San Diego Comic-Con, they're probably incurring a penalty from the city of San Diego for upwards of $5,000 for these huge ads on the side of these buildings. But they don't care. They put the ads up. They pay those fines because, you know, Marvel or Disney or Warner Brothers or whoever, Sony or whatever, is paying, you know, the Marriott or the Hilton, God knows how much money to put their logo or their product or their upcoming movie on the side of their building. And I'm thinking, my gosh, the amount of money these companies have. They're being fined by the city of San Diego, first of all. Then the cost of the wrap materials. A little wrap on my doors at my shop cost me $400. Right? So I can't imagine a massive wrap the size of the side of a building, 10 stories by God knows 200-300 feet. What would that cost? Plus it's how many feet in the air, and you have to hire a specialized crew to go up and install it and then uninstall it the day after the show ends and still make money. It was crazy, man. It's crazy. Anyways, I thought that was pretty funny when I was talking to the Uber driver about that. Steve says, check out the draw. We did that already. Good luck trying to get San Diego Comic-Con tickets. The lottery is in October of 20. Okay, there you go. So this October, if you want to go to Comic-Con, the lottery starts this October to get your tickets. Returning guests get 2 shots at returning to San Diego Comic-Con lottery in September and October. If you manage to get tickets to San Diego Comic-Con, there is also a hotel lottery to get you a place to stay. Right, there you go. So thank you, Stephen, for that information. I knew it was a lottery of some kind. Kevin from Salinas Pond told me him and Stephen from Fresno Pond, those guys, they rented some Airbnbs a bit of a ways away, and they said it was about a 20-minute transit ride or train ride, and they were fine. They were quite content and happy with that. So that's your option as well. But if you want to stay in and around the Comic-Con, yeah, it's stupid expensive. Stupid expensive. All right, let's get back to these books, because I'm getting tired and I want to go to bed. All right, we got a 9.2 copy. Overhead. There we go. A 9.2 copy of Spider-Man number, what was it, 299. We got an ASM 300 and a 7.0. That was pretty generous. White page. We got a 9.6 copy of ASM 316. All right. We got some Niagara Falls Comic-Con books coming back. We got a 9.2 copy of Spider-Man 100. There we go. And we got a 9.6. Not a lot of 9.8s, eh? They're being really sticky now. What's going on? They're being so generous with 9.8s. Now they've kind of returned back to the They're sticky days. We got a 9.6 copy of Fables #1. This is Stephen's book, I think. We got a 9.2 copy of Spider-Man Unlimited. Here's another one where you see kind of the curve and some more. We see some more. See if I can. Again, it's hard to the light to shine just right so you can see what I'm talking about. You're not going to see it. Anyways, you can kind of see how the little concave area of the inner well. Here we go. We get a 9.8 copy finally. But again, we see the concave in that too of X-Men #4. First appearance of Omega Red. That was hot for a while there, that Omega Red book. And we have a 9.8 copy of... Oh, this is Montreal Comic Con, I think. Is it? This is Montreal? No, this is Niagara. Ken Lashley variant cover, Venom #25 and a 9.8. Now this one, good story about this one. Travis's book. He brought it to me. He got it from Niagara Falls, I believe, and he was going to add it to his order because he had other books from Niagara Falls, and he had dented it really badly. And I'm like, oh, it's a foil cover. What are you going to do? Oh my gosh. So me and Napur grabbed the book, and we had to get the book back to CGC pronto. So we worked on it one afternoon. Came out perfect. The dent was gone. And I'm like, we didn't take before and afters. I hate that. I hate not taking before and afters with such a dramatic fix. And this one, boy, I was so happy with the results. Both me and Napur were jumping up and down. We're like, wow, that turned out really, really good. And then, of course, CGC returns the thing with it. Let me put that one back right away so I can not lose that that insert. Okay. What else we got here? Oh, we got a 9.2 copy. This is a nice book, guys. Tales to Astonish 44 and a 9.2 is a nice big book for you. Right there. And my stack is pretty high. I'm going to have to put some of these away. Should put that one over there. Chris Ray, Kevin, does Comic Doctor offer sticker and label removal services for magazines? Somebody told me that Charlo was a legend. Yes, we can do that for you. Now, not every sticker can come off. Oftentimes when you remove stickers, there is a little bit of residue. And I shouldn't say the word residue is the bad word. It's not residue. What we sometimes see left over is when you remove the residue, the adhesive residue, it sometimes leaves a faded area. It removes some of the color, or it dulls some of the gloss that may have been on the book. A good example of that is TMNT #1, the magazine, the black magazine. Oftentimes dealers would put a sticker, or like a price sticker, over top of the American price. They charge a Canadian price. We take those off, and oftentimes you'll see kind of a glossy area where the adhesive kind of changes the glossiness. Is that when the glossiness of the black? It actually makes it darker, which is kind of strange. But you see a little square where it was. So yes, we can get rid of them. On some books, you can't notice a damn thing. Like some of the more like the Nintendo magazines, he's quite good at that. We've reviewed quite a few of those. Yes, he is become quite adept at doing that for sure. Now, magazines like Sports Illustrated, different story, right, guys? Sports Illustrated. A lot of guys will say, Kevin, can you guys get rid of the subscription stickers on the Sports Illustrated magazines? And the answer is no. You'll damage the books. You'll make it look like hell. You're better to leave them on because you're just going to make a friggin' mess. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You would think that magazines might be a little more durable than comic books, but you'd be surprised, man. The magazines actually are not. A lot of magazines are actually quite fragile and temperamental. So yeah. Okay, let's keep going here. We'll put a few of these in here. We got one more box to go, guys, so don't go anywhere. Finally, we got some Silver Age. We got some Silver Age. Got a first appearance of Galactus in a 4.8. 4.8. In a 4.5. Number 48, and that is also the first appearance of Silver Surfer. We got a Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, number 1 in a 5.0. Great to see. We also have a Doctor Strange, a number 169 and a 3.0. Right there. We have now some Niagara Falls books coming back. And these are also Trevor's books here. We've got The Crow, number 2, signed by James O'Barr. I'm surprised it doesn't say at Niagara Falls. It just says signed by James O'Barr on. Okay, whatever. Anyways, 8.0. And then another one here, Crow number 1. The Crow number 1 and an 8.0 as well. Now, those I don't believe were pressed. We just had them signed. We got a 9.8 signed and sketched by Andrew Thomas, the Cap Can Comics edition. White and green right here. And that's in a 9.8. Also signed in Niagara Falls. I've been told that we're pretty quick with the listen, guys. When the books come back from a show like Montreal or in this case Niagara Falls, I get the books shipped out within a couple of weeks. Usually, they pressed. If you have me do signature series for you, your books are put to the front of the line for pressing, cleaning, and off they go. Some of these did not get pressed and cleaned anyways, but we send the books out as soon as possible because CGC wants the books to them within 30 days. So we just get to them right away and get them done. In which case the books come back quite quickly. Now, these have probably been back for a couple of weeks. As soon as I left for San Diego, or sorry, for Los Angeles in California, boxes started arriving. And I knew I was going to get a whole bunch of boxes as soon as I left. And that's the case. So these have been sitting for a couple of weeks. So they came back pretty quick. Niagara Falls was June something, end of June 24th. We're now at the beginning, like July. These probably arrived around July 20th. And so now we're, like a month later, the books are back. Here we got a Crow number 3 also. And that's it for that box. There you go. So another box to go. And let's go back to the chat room. I have a swig in my pot. Dave says, forgot to ask, what month books are you working on now? When I left, we were in... I think early June, late May, early June. And I think we're probably towards the end of June by now. I wouldn't be surprised if we're in late June books. I'll be honest, I haven't even been in the shop yet to check, but I got a feeling, we're probably in and around mid to late June right now. That makes sense? Because we're in August. Yeah, I guess. We're about 2 months turnaround, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're like in early June, but we're into June. I'm pretty sure we're into June because when I left, we were in late May, I believe, right? So we're getting there. Our turnaround is actually at a really good place. What I'm trying to do, guys, I was going to have my website all redone and do, like submission tracking and all that sort of thing. And everybody I talked to, a couple of the developers I talked to said, they kind of warned me against it. They said, if your website is getting good traction, don't touch your website. I said, what do you mean? But I want to add to it. And they said, don't do it. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to revamp my website if it works. They said, if it works, don't fix it. So I'm not going to. So what I've decided to do, and I'm in the process of finding somebody, is I'm going to, I think, develop an app, like a phone app, where you can type in your either your Comic Doctor invoice number or your CGC invoice number that I can provide for you, and you can get updates on your books yourself. That's what I'm going to be working on in the next few months. If you know anybody who does app development, like cell phone app development, let me know. Otherwise, I'll probably go to Fiverr. I'll go to one of those places and see if someone can help me there. Security is very important to me, so I want to make sure everything is done properly. All right, so box number 2 is done. Box number 3 is coming up. Also, guys, like I said, I will probably do another unboxing, not tomorrow, but on Sunday. and then probably another one on Tuesday, and that should catch me back up, I think. Unless more boxes are probably, I think more boxes are coming on Monday and Tuesday, so might not catch me up, but get me better caught up. So expect another unboxing. So hit that notification bell too. You know when I go live. If you are new here, guys, again, I do these unboxings every single week, usually, if I'm not on vacation. On Tuesday at 8:30, because I've been on vacation and I've got a backlog of boxes, I decided to do a Friday night show. Okay, let me move this sucker out of the way, and we'll move on to our last box. Oh, here we go. Warren is still there. Here's his book, Dark Knight #1 in a 9.8. Where is it? Right there. Boom. Been waiting for that one. And we got some Silver Age books, guys. Oops, there we go. We've got a Batman 125 in a 6.0. Some nice Star Trek books. Oh, we got a few of them. Nice. Star Trek #9 in a 6.5. These are books we see them, but we don't see them too often. A Star Trek #3, excuse me, in a 7.5. Oops. You have a Star Trek #2 in an 8.5. Nice grade on that one. We've got a Tech number. Nice grade on this one, guys. Tech 336 in a 9.2. Wow, from 1965. That's something you don't see every day. Great Joker cover here in Tech 365 from 1967. We have a Laugh 173 in an 8.5. Little bikini book there. We got a Beatles appearance in Batman #222 in a 7.0. Wow, that's a 7.0, eh? That's pretty generous, I think. All right, right there. Let me pack these guys up, and I'll go to my next batch there. We'll go over to the chat really quick. Dave forgot. Okay, Dave sounds cool. Mike says, I hope this has some of my stuff soon. Mike, I got a feeling some of yours are here. I have a feeling some of yours are like here. I wouldn't know. If I checked with your invoice, I could look. If I get a second, I'll have a look, Mike. Yeah, I got a lot coming back. I sent out, my lord, and before I left, I think I sent out close to about 600 books before I left over the course of 3 weeks. There's a lot of books, boy. I had my surgery, remember, on my eye, and that backed me up a little bit. I had to wait, and so those, I had a bit of a backlog there, so I sent quite a few books out before I left. So I've got a whole bunch coming back right now. So yeah. So it should be soon. Warren, fine. Warren, we waited a long time for that, for both your books, man. I don't know why. I don't know why it took so damn long. It's ridiculous. Sometimes, guys, you'll send a bunch of books to CGC, and a couple will just sit there. They'll just sit there forever. And you're like, what the hell's going on? And they're done. You can see they're finished, but they don't pack them and ship them for some reason. It's very aggravating. Very aggravating. I wish I could speak to it. I wish I could explain why that is. I could, but I can't. I can't because, again, I've never been there. I haven't seen their facility. I don't know how they do things. I don't know why certain books take longer than others. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. All right, what else we got here? We have another Detective Comics book with looks like a portrait of me on the front cover there. Look. Detective Comics 143, Bill Finger and Otto Binder stories, and a 2.0 right there. We got an Iron Man number, oh, that's a cool book. Iron Man number 2 and a 6.5. We've got a Tarzan number, are these are, I think these are more of Tarzan number 207, Josh's books maybe. Tarzan 207 from 1972, nice copy, and an 8.5. Out of This World, Charlton Comics, and a 6.0. Right there. All right, X-Men 94. Now, are these reholder high value? Okay, hold on a sec. Not sure who this is. I think I know who this belongs to, I think. But why is it rehold? Yeah, no price on that. X-Men 94 and an 8.5, really nice. And we have here an ASM. I think this is one of Ash's books here. We sent this book back for a, I think it was this one that went back for a color touch removal, and they said no to this one. But I said that with another. I think it was this one. But I think this one, but I might be wrong. There was 2 that were sent back for color touch removal. One was approved and one wasn't. And I think this one was the one that was not. So if they determine that color touch will hurt the book like really badly, they'll refuse it. But you can try. You can send it in and see what happens, right? We've got a Hulk 114. Wow. Oh, okay. Now these are Logan's books, I think. Whoa, look at that one, Logan. I think these are yours if you're out there. Hulk 114 and a 9.2. We got some nice grades here. We got a Hulk 107 and a 9.2. Now, guys, these books here, these are books that you know, color light, you know, do we play with the lightening of the cover on these books? These are the ones where, you know, high grade Tales to Astonish books, you know, will it pop up to a 9.4, 9.6, 9.8 if you brighten it up a little bit? But yeah, these are good candidates for that. But again, is it worth it? And what happens if the books come back with that notation? Look at this one. Wow. Off-white to white. Oh no, cream to off-white. 1969, 112, and a 9.6. Holy cow. Nice. It's funny how all the other ones were white pages. This one's an off-white to white page. Or no, cream to off-white pages. 9.6. It's a great grade there. Here we've got a 4.5 on some cool Silver Age books in this blast box. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little partial to Silver Age books. Are you partial to Silver? What do you prefer to watch? The Silver Age stuff or all that modern stuff we get? I'll be honest. I'm a little biased. I like the old stuff. Green printing error for Fantastic Four 110. It's the green printing error issue in a 4.5 off-white to white. Right, that stack is done. I'm going to have to put those away. And I got about another 7 or so books. Don't go anywhere. We'll finish these off together. All right, let's see here. Go back to the chat. Mikey, welcome back. Can't wait to pick up my Amazing Heroes 1 9.4. Yes. Yes, it's here. It is here. 49 Felix is here. How you doing? Good to see you. Warren says, please ship, Doc. Not coming anytime soon. Let me know price. Yeah, okay, Warren. I'll move your stuff over to the ship out box. Give me another week or so to get that organized. I'm going to have a lot of books to ship out soon, I think. 49 Felix says, what do you think about that CDC lawsuit outcome? I'll give you my 2 cents really quick about that. I want to go into a little more detail about that later. I don't want to do that here because it's a long conversation. I don't really to make any notes or anything, but I find it interesting that you hire a company to assess your book, and that company gives you their 2 cents worth, and you don't like the results of what they have to say, and then you sue them. Now, that being said, I understand that it was a little more than that. It wasn't just them sending a book in and having the results given back to them. There was, I think, a public statement. If I read it correctly, and I got to reread the article, but if I read it correctly, apparently Matt Nelson made some public comments about the books, and that's where it kind of all stems from. So you got to kind of look at it both ways and see, look at it. You hired them to assess your book, so why are you upset with what they have to say about it? But then if the person who's assessing the book then goes one step further and makes comments about said books in a public forum, then yeah, you have grounds to, I think, complain. Because to be honest, when I send books to CGC, and what I'm doing here, I don't say, oh, this here is Johnny's books. I mean, if I know whose books these are, and most guys don't care if I share the names, but I do have guys who told me, don't put my books online. I don't want no one knowing anything about my books or what I have. And that's totally cool. I absolutely respect that. And I won't. It kind of goes without saying. And if I talk to other people about client books, I never use people's names. I'll say, well, I've experienced this or I've experienced that. But to go on record or go online and to say something about somebody else's work or insinuate something about someone's work, and that's their livelihood, yeah, I got a problem with that. And so if Matt Nelson did that, then yeah, you know, if that company did suffer because of his comments, then yeah, you open yourself up for legal action. I got more to say about it. I'm not going to say it right now. I do have more to say about Matt Nelson and about the whole thing. I want to do a little more reading about it first, though, before I make my comments about that. But we're in a time now where you got to be very careful with what you say. One thing, what's probably going to happen though, is that you know, you get your books graded. There'll be some comments and I think these companies are going to say very little about your books. I think after this, they may just assign grades and not give any other reasoning for it. Here's your grade and that's it. Or they'll probably have some kind of legal check. You know, we have the right to say what we want to say about your books once they're in our possession, and you cannot. They'll probably put some loophole or some kind of stipulation or some kind of clause in the paperwork you sign off on when you send books them to, which will exempt them from any lawsuits or any legal action you may want to attack them with or come at them with based on what they have to say about your books or about the work you do, or I don't know. But yeah, I have more to say about this, but I just don't want to say it now, and I will get back to it. Steven said CGC will try and give that guy 10 million in grading. Yeah, really, free grading for the rest of your career. Yeah, that's funny. That is funny. What's that doing there? Okay. We got one more stack to go here. About 7 books. 5. How many books there? 1, 2, 3, 6 books more. And then we're done. All right. Let's see what we got. Some more oldies. All right. We got some more Hulk. This could be another one. We got another Hulk. This one's a 9.4 copy of Hulk 108. Nice copy, boy. Wow. Amazing Spider-Man number 46. First appearance of the Shocker in a 5.0. We got a Tomb of Dracula 13. Origin of Blade. Hear that comic dancing around inside the slab. You hear that? I tell you right now, you can't hear nothing with those PSA slabs. They're like, they're friggin', they're pretty strong. They remind me of a heavier duty CBCS slab. It's pretty heavy duty, and they are heavy. 9.2 copy of Tomb of Dracula 13. We have another Hulk 109. I think this is, oh, look how nice that one is. Wow. 9.2 copy of Hulk 109. Great cover with Kazar. And we end this sucker off with an ASM 139. First appearance of the Grizzly. The Grizzly, Spider-Man's arch nemesis, the Grizzly. Guy in a bear costume. In a 9.0 white pager. And that's it. So that last box, lots of Silver Age, early Bronze Age goodness. What about the new PSA president? Just picking your brain. PSA president? Who do you mean president? I don't know anything about the president. I didn't get into that. Who are we talking about? Do I know him or her? I'm not sure. I don't know much about PSA. I don't really send anything to them because I don't get into cards and stuff. All I know is they've made a real name for themselves with cards, and a logical next step is comics, you know? Oh, guys, there's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about, right? I mean, UV protected case, really heavy duty case, very heavy case, protects the comics even better, it seems, in these guys. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Now, are the labels gonna, you can't please everybody all the time, right? Not everyone's gonna love these slabs, the way they look. But if they're heavy duty and they're really rugged, I think that's going to really turn people on. And to be honest, that's my first impression of these slabs. They were not jittering. The books were not jittering around inside. The wells were not jumping around inside. They were secure. And like I said, as a Canadian, look, again, I have a lot of American clients, and it's really quite simple for me to send books to CGC. CGC just then forwards them right to my clients in the States, and it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's from a Canadian clients and the Canadian point of view. If we had a company that was outfitted or situated here within the Canadian, you know, any province for that matter, hey man, I told them, I wouldn't talk to them on Sundays. I would love to work with you guys. I'd love to have a company that was in Canada. And I think that, and maybe you guys can attest to this, you're my clients, a lot of you are, would you give them a shot if they were outfitted in Canada? Like, you know, I think I spoke for you. I said, I think most would, because one of the biggest hassles there is the border and the shipping costs. Yeah, anyways. They have hired a new guy to oversee books for PSA. He's actually the father of the guy who does the comic book investments YouTube channel. Guy with tattoos. Yeah, I know that guy. They hire, I don't know his name, but that's the dude who is now the head of their grade. He's the head of their grading department. I know very little about this guy. It's how can I explain this? Hold on. They were working with and were upfront with CGC that they did restoration on the True Grails. Wait a second. They were working with and were upfront with CGC that they did restoration on the True Grails action, etc. But CGC felt that CGC could not detect the amount of restoration and Heritage did not accept it. Oh, that's what it was all about. Yeah, I'm going to read more about it, Pete, because I want to speak to that a little more clearly. And that goes back, I want to talk about detection of color touch and restoration as well. That's a big thing to talk about also. Adam Darling, thanks for the surprise show, Kev. Have a great night. Adam, you too, pal. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming out. Denon, there's a 2-hour interview on YouTube. Oh, is there? Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch that yet. Look, guys, we're all just enthusiasts, right? We're all enthusiasts. Some of us have more experience than others. I've been doing this professionally, like if you want to call it professionally, I would say professionally. Pressing and cleaning and working with CGC and grading for well over 10 years now, almost 15 years, going on close to the 15-year mark. You know, I think I've gotten pretty good at grading. I'm not an expert. I wouldn't say I am an expert. I never tout that I'm an expert, but I got a pretty good eye. And but there's all these changing rules, you know, almost like a sliding scale, as it were. Well, then it's eye appeal. Oh, it's got this problem. Oh, it's got that problem. But the eye appeal is still very good. Oh, it's got a water stain. Oh, it's got this, it's got that. So lots of things to take into consideration when you're grading a book. And again, it's all very subjective. And, you know, like this fellow they got, who's a president, he's got years of experience, I would assume, selling comic books, working with comic books industries. Like, I'll mention Tim here in Oshawa at Worlds Collide. I was going to say Unicorn Comics. He's been in the comic book business since the early 80s, late 70s, you know, or another fella, what's his name? Doug Salippa out in Winnipeg, who I had on my show that time. We talked about Canadian price variance. He's been around since the late 60s doing comic books. Like, these guys know their stuff, right? There's no school for this. You don't go to school to grade. You don't go to school to be a presser. Or do you, or don't you? You know, it's self-taught most of the time. So you learn through doing. And these guys have been around and made a name for themselves as being top dealers or just being very vocal, you know. I look at someone like Angelo in Montreal, who's in the Canadian price variance, as an expert, as a historian on this stuff. He can talk about this at length, about being, you know, Canadian price variance. He's an expert, as it were. But it's self-taught, it's passion, it's loving something so much, right? But again, it's opinion, you know. Matt Nelson was all opinions. It was all opinions, you know. That's where this all boils down to. Is like who do you trust and who you don't trust? Who you're going to listen to and who you're not going to listen to, right? Like, I'm your presser. I press books for a lot of you. There's a lot of other pressers out there. You can go to them. You can go to me. All of our prices are different. All of our attitudes are different. All of our experiences are different. Our the way we handle ourselves, the way we handle our business, the way we handle the books are all different. You choose to go with who you trust, right? So, I mean, these guys are, PSA is putting their trust in this fella. I guess either they know him or they read up on him. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to say. Hey, Kev, when are you back at the shop? Tomorrow. Back at the shop tomorrow. So if you are in the Oshawa area, Toronto area, you want to come by and see me tomorrow, I'll be in the shop tomorrow. 90 Russet Avenue, Unit 5, from 11 until 2 tomorrow. And I got an appointment at 2:30, so I will only be there till 2 sharp, and I have to leave. Yeah, I want to talk a bit about that more, guys. You know, about the whole who has the know-how, who has the whatever, you know, who we put our trust in. You know, we put our trust in CGC because they seem to be the main company out there. Yet we're getting our books back with damages on them. We're getting books back graded with inconsistency. Yet they're the ones we trust because, you know, you got this guy there, Matt Nelson, he's been around forever, and he's got all these people working there, but they're forever. You know, it's you trust them because that name, it's a name you trust. You hope to trust. But do they have their problems? Sure they do. You know, man, it's such a hard, it's a hard thing to discuss. It's a hard thing to break down, you know. And this lawsuit's an interesting one too. A very interesting one. I'm going to do some more research on it, and then definitely I'll come back and talk about it. I might bring a guest or two on with me to discuss it as well. All right, guys, that's it for me. Been going for about an hour and a half, and I want to go and chill out and watch some Game of Thrones, some behind. I'll be back probably on Sunday. I'm not sure if it's in the evening or the afternoon with another live unboxing, so be sure to hit that notification bell. Again, if you're here for the first time, guys, hit the subscribe button. Why not? I'm having a giveaway right now. When I hit 5,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving out some vouchers for some free CGC grading. When I hit 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to give it a free box of grading. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It does help my analytics out. And I hope to see you guys all back here soon, once again, on the Comic Doctor YouTube channel. My friends, until next time, take care. Have a great night. And maybe I'll see you tomorrow over at the Comic Doctor shop. Until then, bye for now. Night, guys. Thanks.